So the when you also say, is there some kind of non-duality and universalism? No, 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 no. You're mixing two separate things there. Non-duality is more of a spiritual kind of thing, and just kind of believing in some kind of universality of beingness, where there is no dualism, like we're not separate from other things. A little bit that kind of African thinking, but it's a little different from that. But that is more like a way of saying. But universalism is ideological. Non-duality is more spiritual. It's more a philosophy of life, a more a way of being in the world, as opposed to a way of controlling the world. That is the difference there. Universalism will be close to globalism. How do we develop sets of values that everybody must obey to? So who are the people developing those sets of values? Who are the gatekeepers? Why? What are they getting from it? Why do we all need to obey certain sets of values? Because they are universal, because those are the things we should all live by. And those people who now are developing and updating them all the time, what are they getting out of it? That is the problem, because those people who control that are the people who control the world. It's not neutral, it's not innocent. And that is where the problem is with globalism and universalism, because it begins to ignore very, very important, significant cultural differences, of people that are really, really meaningful to how people live. Now, if your culture believe in XYZ and this is how your ancestors have been always, no, you are primitive because you're not following the global universal sets of values that everybody must follow. Who said that? Who decided that? So that's where the problem is. And you can see that comes back to this book, The Scientific Man, on page 244. You can see where they say, right in the beginning, where she says, the European is a scientific man. To them, this implies the essence of universality, objectivity, and the ability to be critical and rational. Scientific man does not, and this is important, scientific man does not connote to the European mind simply the person who is engaged in scientific activity. So when they say scientific man, it's not just because you're involved in scientific activities, like doing some scientific studies and all that. No, it's a way of being, right? It indicates a state of mind and of being. Because I'm a European, by virtue of the fact that I'm just a European, I am already superior because of the way I think. I think critically. I think scientifically. I do not swallow things without really criticizing them, right? So just by the way of my way of being, and looking at the world makes me already a scientific person, right? So because other culture will look at that differently. Other culture is like, no, we're all part of this nature and we should respect it. So and therefore those scientific, Europeans as a scientific man will tell you, no, you're doing it wrong. So that's it, and that you're straying away from the universal values. The problem of the mad scientist on the next page there, describe a position for the blah blah blah, remote and detached. You always have to be detached. Again, who decided that if you are an emotional man, is not human to be emotional? It is human to be rational. Like, don't be emotional. Oh, don't be emotional. You're too emotional. No, you should control your emotion. You should really be detached from any significant thing, so you can think clearly, and use your brain, And again, coming back to the gender thing, women, accusing women of being the ones that are too emotional because, they don't think with their head, they think with their heart. Therefore, they cannot really do anything. The men who think with their head should control them. See, all of this, those are those universal principles that are not being even challenged at the gender level, you know, with the hashtag Me Too movement and everything like that, you know. So not that I really, you know, condone the hashtag Me Too, because there's also, my problem is sometimes there are genuine grievances, but they don't last, and they don't remain neutral and authentic. They are captured quickly by the politicians and the ideologies and all that, and transform and weaponize and being used. So that's the whole thing with racism in America. For example, it's so polarized because it's not looked at from a detached, again I go now to the European language, detached or whatever, but it's not looked at from a more authentic, genuine perspective, where you really observe how different people are being treated differently without having any ideology behind it or any design or anything, but really kind of examine it for what it is. You know, look at the statistic, the numbers and the things and that, and look at the whole context and understand, put all the things that contributed to something happening, and really take it like this. No, the politician will just look at that, boom, race, oh, we can use it, and then we will bludgeon those Republicans with this, you know, because they are the racist party and all that, and then it becomes politicized, weaponized, ideologized, and it loses it loses something that is real about it. And then no one wants to talk about it anymore, no one wants to hear about it, and then it becomes so polarized because one party feels that is being targeted because of being accused of racism and all that, another party think you're not listening to my experience because you dismiss it because you have no chances, you have no opportunity to feel it because you're in the privileged race and all that. And then it becomes like this because everything is enmeshed, everything is just conflicted. I don't even remember the word. Everything is just put together like you can, you know, you can dissect it and look at it for what it is. So and that is what frustrates me. So when I watch CNN or anything like that, or MSNBC and race, I just dismiss it right off the bat. I'm like, I know, this you are politicizing. I'm not dismissing the reality of what happened. I'm dismissing your narration of it, the way you're narrating it, the way you're inflating it, you know, because you have a political agenda, you have an ideological agenda, and you're fanning that, you know, and using now the people who are victims of that to your own agenda, and then people cannot criticize you, especially a black person cannot, because they say, oh, he's a sellout and all that. That is what frustrates me. And I watch everything. I watch the Fox, I watch everything, the independent report and everything, really to have a broad, you know, pool of information, and then I can see things for myself and digest it and see where and find where the truth lies, not where the media and all these things will push it on me. And the more I learn, the more I realize I really have more in common with the way the conservative and Republicans think than I do with how progressive, because they become me ridiculous. You know, like everything Russia, and Paul say America don't care. America care about jobs and things that really matter in their life. Russia, and then Trump, America don't care. What Trump tweeted something and blah blah blah. So who cares? Of course, people will be offended. But can you feed your family? Can you have a future? Can you have a career? Can you? I mean, what is more important? You know, you are bringing your agenda, but ignoring what really matters to everybody's life, like on a daily basis. You know, and things like that. So for me, those are the things that are not being told, you know, to people. Do you see my point there? That resist Trump thing, even kills me, because the Democratic Party has turned into a crying machine and protest machine and everything. So Trump is a demon, a monster and everything. What do you propose? Nobody asking that, nobody's talking about it. What is your alternative? What is your policy that you're telling now the people who are so angry that, okay, this is what we propose to change the situation. We're not even going to worry and waste our time mentioning that person that we don't like, but this is how we're going to solve the problem of this country. What is that? There's nothing like that, because it's ideology, political, and then everybody wants to hear. Then it becomes bubbles. You're either in the progressive bubble and think the same way, we hate him, not even mention about him, or you're on the other bubble and hate the other one. Oh, those people are just lunatics, they're crazy. Oh, can you see them? And then we're like, so I'm usually in the middle. I'm like, so what do I do now? Because I'm kind of looking at both perspectives, and I kind of understand where everybody's coming from. But it's easy to actually talk and reconcile what divides you, as opposed to demonize each other. So that is a problem, right? And then we move into the civilized man. The term modern, and civilized are also those with which Europeans describe themselves. We're modern and civilized. They represent the epitome of value on the scale of progress. Their own interpretation and description of value and the obsession to which the human endeavor is most properly committed. So, we like this guy who was discussing with a brown person on the BBC the other day, saying, "Oh, you're blaming us British for slavery and everything. Well, before we went to Africa, you Africans, you were already selling your own people. You were already trading people. You already have slavery there by yourself. We just came, and did that, but you already started it." I'm like, but you came as the civilized people to civilize us. So in your modernity and civilization, you should have known that we uncivilized people were doing the uncivilized things, which were to sell people. And you should have shown us the right way by telling us that what we're doing is uncivilized. You cannot sell human beings. But what did you do? You took advantage. You say, let us be uncivilized like them, buy those slaves or take them by force and weapon and go there and bring them to our countries and develop our own countries at cheap labor or no labor, no money at all or anything like that. And then, and then be happy with it. So, who then is civilized and uncivilized? So that was my problem. That's the whole thing I don't understand. Because if you say we were doing that before you arrived, and you define yourself as more advanced and modern and civilized, and come to the uncivilized people to civilize them, and now stoop in their own uncivilized way of doing things and take advantage of it, who is more uncivilized? So that those are the things you will not hear on TV. People don't think. They're not even allowed to challenge, because even TV, radio, and all that are all ideological based and political agenda focused, and everything is controlled, editorialized. You must stick to the point, and the thing you deviate, will never call you, and you lose your job. So it's the whole thing.